Hi friends, I'm Kyla and welcome back to the Infinite Library. We are in the cozy mood today because even though it's almost March, it's pretty chilly still, to be honest. Hello. So as is tradition, last year I did a tier ranking wearing an hoodie, so I figured I would do it again this year. And today we're going to be doing tier ranking for all the non-books, all of the media that I consumed in 2024. So that is films, anime, TV shows, and video games. I've already done my one for the books, which you can find up here, but I always like to do this as well, just to kind of see what kind of things I consumed outside of books. And it makes me think more about maybe what things I'm going to do in the year ahead. I definitely didn't watch as much anime as I was planning to, but I watched more movies, I think, than I expected. So here we have the tier ranking. I've not really changed these too much, but I've just made my own little categories here rather than the standard like F to S rank. So right at the top we have Blew My Mind. These are the things that have cemented themselves into my new favourites. I have just been obsessed with them ever since I watched or played them. A Heckin' Good Time. These are the things that I really enjoy. They're maybe not my favourites of the year, but I definitely still really love them. That Was Something are the things that were just kind of an experience, whether that's good or bad, but they don't really fit into any other category, but they were something. And then Perfect for Background. This is something that's just fine. It's maybe not something that I loved, but it could be good for like just having on the background while you're doing something else. Maybe not paying complete attention to it, but not dreadful. And then Narp is kind of what it says on the tin. This is the things that I really didn't like. So we have all of our list here, a whole bunch of stuff. So this is all kind of mixed up, but I think we have anime first, so let's go with that. So we actually have 2 seasons here of Mob Psycho, I realise, so I'm just going to move that over. I haven't actually finished season 2 yet, come to think of it. I'm going to put Mob Psycho in a heckin' good time, and I'll put season 2 on there as well, even though I haven't finished it. This is a really zany kind of anime, and I enjoyed it. I watched it with a friend, but I know for a lot of people, it kind of blows their mind with this anime, and I liked it, but I didn't love it, unfortunately. It doesn't have like a lot of a storyline for quite a while, and it just takes a while to get going, I think. So even though I did like this series, and there's some really cool animation going on in there, I didn't love it. Delico's Nursery. I really loved this one. This is also going to go into a heckin' good time because I will admit, even though I really liked this series, its plot isn't great, to be honest. This is a short series about these group of vampires and their children. It's really cute. I love all the interactions between the dads and the kids, and then there is this whole thing with evil people who are trying to slay like the one true vampire, and I really enjoyed it. I love the characters, but it isn't the best in terms of plot, so it's still just going to go in heckin' good time, but I still really love it, and the aesthetic is perfect for it. It's actually based off stage plays originally, which I do want to watch at some time. Oh, the new Higurashi anime. So me and 2 friends ended up watching the new Higurashi series, which we initially thought was a retelling, a redo, but it's actually a full reboot. And it follows a different storyline. I'm a big Higurashi fan, and I watched all of the original series, so I did finally get to check out this series, and it was very mixed, I'll say. Some of it I did really like, and then it got really towards the end, and I'm not really sure. I didn't like, we finished that series, and there's another season, which I think is Sotsu, and yeah, the other 2 people were like, I'm not watching it because they hated how it ended, and I'm kind of intrigued to see where it could go, so I probably will watch it. But I'm gonna put it in That Was Something because the quality was just so all over the place. Like, I personally also don't like the animation because they've changed the animation from the old one, and I think the old animation style suits the series so much more, and this is very like polished and shiny, and I don't think it suits the characters very much. And yeah, it just did some stuff that I wasn't crazy on, so I'm gonna put it in here. It also went like probably had one of the most violent scenes that Higurashi's ever had, so that was a haul of it. Next, Trigun Stampede. This was another anime that I buddy watched, and I really liked this one as well. I've seen the Trigun movie, but this is the new series, and I know a lot of people are a little bit iffy about it because it's all CGI, and they changed the character design for the main guy Vash. Like, some people like they yassified him, but I really enjoyed this show. I thought it was really good, and honestly, even for CGI, I thought it was done really well, and the action scenes in particular were gorgeous. So it was a really solid series overall. I think it might be getting a second season, I'm not sure, but I'll definitely check it out. As well as I am going to watch the original Trigun at some point because I do prefer the animation style of that. Then we have Pokemon Concierge. This was just lovely. This is just these little cute short stop motion animations. I really liked it, and I'm really looking forward to there being more of it. I like how short the episodes are, and it was just such a cozy watch, and highly recommend it. Even if maybe you're not even a big Pokemon fan, it's just really cute and wholesome and very like Animal Crossing, to be honest. Bubblegum Crisis. This is a very old 80s, I want to say, OVA. I was originally going to be doing an anime project on my channel, which I scrapped, but I watched this anime for that series. In fact, it came out in 1990. I know exactly because that was a whole point of the series I was doing. But yeah, it originally came out in 1989 and 1990, so it's very old. It's like cyberpunk, and these like girls in mech suits that kind of fight these other like evil robot mechs essentially in this sci-fi city. It was really interesting. I quite liked it, actually. I want to say though, it's probably just perfect for background. Although I enjoyed it, I felt like a lot of the plots began to run together, and they're pretty much just like, because they're OVAs, they're more like 40 minutes long rather than 20 minutes long, which is a typical anime length. So although I liked it, it did get a little bit samey, and there wasn't a whole lot of like character development over the course of the OVA series, so it is kind of something that you could probably put on and pick up again even if you went out the room for 5 minutes or so. But honestly, for an old series, I didn't mind it. And then the final anime is Dungeon Meshi, which I like, but I don't love it as much as other people do, unfortunately. I think a lot of people really loved this show, and I really like the concept of it. I think it's fun, but I didn't really fall in love with it, unfortunately. So I'm probably... yeah, there's some elements I love in it. I love the character of Senshi, and I like how the whole premise of the show essentially is that these people who are in a dungeon are finding creatures in the dungeon to turn to food, and I like that concept, but I kind of lost interest the more and more the story went in, and I didn't enjoy like the extra cast and the widening cast that we got. I liked the main core four, and then I wasn't really enjoying it the further it went on, sadly, but it's an okay series, and I understand completely why some people really love it. It was just kind of a fine series for me. Like, if I had to give it like a 3 out of 5 rating, it's a solid 3. Okay, into movies. I don't think this is in order at all. No, because I can see something that I watched right at the start of the Poor Things right next to a Christmas movie, so definitely not. So, The Sixth Sense. I had never seen this movie. I'd seen clips of this movie, I'd seen parts of this movie, but I'd never seen the whole thing all the way through, and I really enjoyed it, actually. I did unfortunately know the twist going in, and I feel like if I hadn't have known the twist, this could maybe have been blowing my mind. But overall, really solid movie. I don't mind some M. Night Shyamalan stuff, and yeah, this one, I quite liked it. Saw. Me and my flatmate finally watched the very first Saw movie. I've always been very put off the Saw franchise because I'm not really into like torture porn, gore for the sake of being gore, even though I really love horror movies. We were like, the first movie is more of a psychological thriller, and before it got really into the crazy, we're just throwing a million tortures in. So we watched this, I think we watched it on Halloween, actually, and actually I quite liked it. Definitely, yeah, a good movie, I would say. I'm not really interested in watching any others in the series, but the original Saw, really good. And again, I sadly knew the twist, otherwise it could have gone up a little bit further there, but it is going to be a heckin' good time because I thought it was a really solid movie overall, and like the limited cast in it was good. Damsel, I feel like I'm one of the few people that really liked this movie. This has the girl from Stranger Things in it, and it's just kind of like a fantasy thing where she ends up being like sacrificed to a dragon and has to defend herself, and I really liked it. Like, it's not amazing, but I had a good time of it. So it's going up here next to Saw. Oh god, Overboard. I watched this when I was back at my mum's house and it was just on TV, and I liked the main two actors in it, so I watched it just because it was on. And oh, that is a problematic movie. That does not hold up in nowadays. It's kind of a whole thing about this heiress who's really rich and mean, and she loses her memory, and this guy pretends he's her husband just to make her kind of like work in his house and look after his kids for him. It gets kind of sweet as it goes on, and like there is genuine chemistry between the two because they're actually a couple in real life at the time, I believe. I was going to put it in perfect for background, but honestly, the problematicness of this movie makes it that was something, because this was not a movie that would work today, for sure. Oh, Kuro. This was something else I was doing for my anime project. This is a very tragic movie, to be honest, set during a war, and it is about this family, and they adopt this little kitten called Kuro, and stuff happens, and the ending is kind of sad, and I don't want to say more than that. The movie itself was actually alright though. I quite enjoyed it. It was a fairly easy watch, but it did get quite heavy towards the end. I'm gonna put it in that was something though, because that ending was something. Abigail, this is the vampire ballerina film. I went to watch this with a friend and I really enjoyed this. This truly was the vibe of, I think it's probably made by the same people that did Ready or Not, and I really enjoy that kind of comedic horror that this kind of does and how savvy it is, and I actually really enjoyed it. I would definitely rewatch this, and I had a good time with it, so that's where it's going. All going to the World's Fair. I watched this prior to going to see I Saw the TV Glow because it's by the same director, and I'd heard people say that going into it, having watched it, made a lot of sense. It was a mixed movie, I would say. I didn't love this movie, but I did think it was really interesting. It's a very slow movie as well, which I Saw the TV Glow can also be, but this is really slow. But I did quite like it, but I also think it's a movie I probably would never watch again. It's basically about this teenage girl. Say girl, they're never really gendered throughout the movie. They are possibly trans or non-binary. This is like in the age of early YouTube, and they are kind of documenting their life on YouTube, and they enter this, is it a competition or an event or something that's happening online, like an MMO, and basically they're kind of like saying that things are changing in their life, and it gets kind of creepy, and they're documenting it, and there's this whole thing about whether it's really real or not, and whether the people they interact with like really mean the person like goodwill or not, that kind of thing. And it was an uncomfortable watch, I would say, but I did like it. I am, however, going to put it in that was something because, yeah, it's not a comfortable movie. Oh gosh, this is... I forgot what this one's called. I want to say it's called Hush. Essentially, we were thinking of watching this movie called Skinamarink, I think it is, which is filmed in a very interesting way. And there's a YouTube short by the director that you can just watch for free, which is kind of a shortened version that gives you an idea of their style. And I watched like half of this with my flatmate, and then I kind of tuned out. I just really wasn't interested, and it just didn't work for me. So I am going to put this in a NARP. It was just too slow, and the way it was filmed, it's very like POV camera of someone just trapped in a house, and you hear things but you can't really see things very well because it's not filmed properly, and I just didn't know what was happening a lot of the time, and it felt like it was just kind of being done to be too artsy and for shock value, and it just didn't work for me, sadly. So I don't think it's actually called Hush. I really can't remember what... Heck, it's called Heck. There we go. I did remember it. But yeah, it didn't work for me, and I'm probably not going to check out their full-length movie either because I know their style just doesn't work for me. Annihilation. That was something. I did quite like this movie, actually. I really want to read the book as well. This is Natalie Portman and a group of other female explorers that go into this like mysterious area where people have disappeared, and I believe her husband disappeared from inside there. and it just gets really weird and eldritchy, and I'm not sure how I feel about the ending, but it had some really like amazing visuals, and it's a movie that I really wanted to love, and I don't think it quite clicked with me, but I did really like it, and yeah, it has stuck with me. Wicked! It really shouldn't go up here, but I'm sorry. I had such a good time with this movie, and I was pretty obsessed with it. I still am obsessed with it, and it's been like 2 months since I watched it, and I just loved it so much. I really did have a good time with it. And yeah, I really like the portrayals that Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande did. And yeah, I'm really excited for the second part. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. Here we go. I saw the TV Glow. This was my favourite film that I watched last year, so it has to go right to the top. I loved this film so much. It's kind of another slow burn. It's a lot about nostalgia, and it's kind of somewhere between a coming of age story and a sci-fi horror, I guess. The horror is very limited in this, and it is more psychological, but this movie like really got me. Me and my flatmate both went to see it, and we both loved it, and I just have not stopped thinking about it since we went to see it, and that was like 6-7 months ago or something, and I just loved it from start to end. It was perfect. The casting was perfect. I loved what the director was doing with it. The visuals were amazing, and yeah, I really need to watch it again, like ASAP. Smile was a horror movie that I initially had kind of ignored when it came out because I hated all the promo stuff that was going on for it. Not the scary stuff where they just had people smiling, but I just didn't think the trailers looked good. It made it look like a very kind of tacky horror movie, I thought. And then it went on Netflix, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to see what it's like, because I'd heard one review recently that actually it was quite good, and actually I quite enjoyed this movie. This movie is a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be, and I still think that, I still think it's a shame that the advertising is very tacky for this movie, because I think it actually deals a lot more with more serious topics than you would think. Also, I really enjoyed where it went in the end. I didn't think it was going to go in that direction, and I kind of loved it. I haven't seen Smile 2 yet, but I definitely will be watching that at some point. But yeah, I actually did really enjoy Smile. Same for Insidious, actually. You didn't realise I was watching a lot of movies that I just had never got around to, and Insidious was one of those. And it was a movie that I think I'd always been kind of afraid to watch, to be honest. And I actually quite enjoyed it. And I really enjoyed the character arc of the father in this movie, because it went again in a direction that I didn't think it was going to. And I enjoyed that, and I kind of want to see more horror movies do that. And yeah, it was good. I don't know if I'll check out others in the series, but I at least liked the first one. Where'd you go, Bernadette? This was just something that we had on when my flatmate's mother was over. It was alright. It was Cate Blanchett being Cate Blanchett, which is always amazing. It was kind of a background movie, though, I'll say. I did find myself getting invested into it, but also I could have easily just not really noticed whilst it was on. Basically, it's about this woman who kind of has, like, I guess a bit of a midlife crisis, and everyone thinks she's crazy, and she wants to go to Antarctica. There's other stuff that happens, but I don't really remember that much, to be honest. I know it's based on a book. It was a fine movie. It wasn't a movie that's really gonna stick with me. Same, honestly, for We Have a Ghost, which could have easily gone into Narc category, to be honest. This was a comedy. It's not even really a horror, to be honest. There's very little that's actually horror about this movie. It's like Casper in levels of horror. It is about this family that move into a house and discover they have a ghost, who is David Harbour from Stranger Things, who is very good in this, by the way, even though he can't speak for a lot of it. And the young boy, the teen boy, kind of makes friends with this ghost and tries to help him, along with, I think, his neighbour or something, but the rest of the family are just trying to use this ghost to make them famous, and that whole thing I really didn't like. It wasn't great. The comedy didn't really work that well, to be honest, but it did have a cute storyline overall, but really not that good of a movie. I forgot I watched Once Upon a Crime. This is a Korean, I think, film that mixes a whole load of fairy tales together. So we've got Cinderella trying to get to the ball with the prince, and our main character is Red Riding Hood, except she's a detective, and a murder happens and she has to figure out what it is. It's a really kind of weird movie in a way that a lot of Asian movies are kind of kooky. It has really bad special effects. It has really nice costumes though, which I always enjoy, and I did like the performances in it. I'm gonna put it in a hecking good time, even though part of me thinks it should also go in That Was Something. It wasn't amazing, but I did enjoy it. Nope. I finally watched Nope. We also watched Get Out this year as well. I'm trying to see if I see it. No, I think Get Out we watched the previous year. So I have seen, I think, all 3 of Jordan Peele's films that are currently out now. I watched Us first, which is my favourite. I loved Us. Then Get Out. And then I think for me, Nope just didn't quite hit the bar of the other 2. I still really liked it, and I like it was less of a horror, and I liked the more sci-fi stuff and the whole stuff in the ranch, and I think I did like the cast a lot in it too. I'm gonna put it in a hecking good time though. I feel like Get Out and Us comes in this top category, but for me, Nope is just under it. The Holiday, this was the last film I watched on Christmas Day, of course, and I'd somehow never seen this movie before. I don't know, and I was like having a bit of a bad day on Christmas Day, to be honest. Like, I woke up and things just weren't going very well, and then I put this movie on whilst I was waiting for Christmas dinner to cook. It was just the right time and the right vibes, and it just made me feel really happy and cozy and back in like the festive spirit. So yeah, this is definitely gonna be like a favorite Christmas movie for me from now on, which is weird because I didn't think it was a movie I was gonna like, but I really enjoyed it. Phoenix Wright movie was certainly something. I like it, but also I don't know. It's part of me is like, it's kind of perfect for background because I zoned in and out of interest whilst it. I have like played some of the Phoenix Wright games, but I actually prefer Great Ace Attorney over Phoenix Wright. I'm gonna put it in That Was Something because it is truly something. If you've never seen this movie, you know when I was talking about how Asian movies sometimes just go really zany? This is it. But it's really fun, so I am going to put it there because I think it's a case of, for me, the humour doesn't always work, but I know other people really like this type of humour. But it is a really fun movie, and I love how they truly try to be like costume and hair accurate to like the video game characters. It's based off a video game series, by the way, about a lawyer cracking these like really crazy cases in court. Salem's Lot. This is the new Salem's Lot movie that came out, and it was fine. I liked it, but I'd say I didn't love it. I think I really liked the cast for this. I think they were the perfect cast. And I actually kind of liked the change they make towards the end about where the final showdown happens. Overall, it didn't really scare me that much, to be honest. I liked it because I really liked the story. I have read the book. But it wasn't the best horror movie I've seen, unfortunately. So I am going to put it in perfect for background. Thing, however, was really good. I really enjoyed The Thing. We watched this because we were going to Fall in Love with Horror, and a whole bunch of the cast from The Thing were going to it, and we had never seen it. This is like old practical effects, cosmic horror, and I can totally see where other things have taken inspiration from this now. Like, even just watching recently The Substance, I was like, yeah, I see where this came from. So yeah, the legacy of The Thing is just so good. I'm gonna put it in a hecking good time, even though I feel like it could almost go into a Blew My Mind. I think I need to rewatch this one, but it was like really, really good. Solidly good. I feel like I should move some of these around actually, just to be, some of these are definitely better than others, I think. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, My Best Friend's Exorcism. This is the Amazon movie adaptation of the Grady Hendrix book, which is my favourite Grady Hendrix book. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't great. It was fine. It gets points from me because it did do the tapeworm scene justice, but it also wasn't amazing. I didn't enjoy it overall as an adaptation goes. It's not a patch from the book, but it's okay. Immaculate. This was a movie that I watched with my friend. We were originally going to go watch it in the cinema, but I know it deals with stuff like pregnancy, and I was a bit worried about it being a bit heavy, being on the big screen, so we ended up watching it like at her house instead, like later on once it hit streaming. And actually, I really enjoyed this, and I think it would have been fine to watch it in the big screen. It was not as like heavy in the pregnancy as I was worried it was gonna be, basically. I'm gonna put it here, actually. Somewhere between Smile and Saw. It was a really solid horror movie, and Sydney Sweeney gave a really good performance in it. Oh! Into the Woods goes right into Narp. I watched this for my Faye retellings, and I should have listened to people that said this was a bad movie before I watched. It's awful. This actually did end up being a movie that became a background movie whilst I was watching it, because I was really not enjoying it. I hated Into the Woods. I don't like the story. I don't think the songs are good. The cast is okay, but that's literally all I can say about it. I really didn't like this. Glass Onion, on the other hand, was a really good time. I'd already seen Knives Out, and I've gotta say, I think I prefer Glass Onion. I really enjoyed the cast in Glass Onion. I enjoyed the storyline, and yeah, it was just really good. Silent Night is going into a Narp for me. I liked the idea of this movie about it being a Christmas movie that goes into a horror. Essentially, the world is like going to end, and it's this whole family is getting together, but they're all really kind of horrible, pretentious, narcissistic people, and it ends up it just being really messy. And I was enjoying it for the drama a little bit, and then I really didn't like the ending. I hated the ending so much. I knew it was going to be a dark movie, but yeah, I was not a fan. It was very, like, it was my first movie I watched for December, and it was a regret for sure. Orphan. I finally watched Orphan, and I also really enjoyed this one. I, of course, already knew the twist going into it, which, again, would have been nice if I hadn't have done, but really solid movie, honestly, and I want to watch the new version that's just come out. They brought back the actress again, and I think it's a prequel or something, and I'm so intrigued how they do that. Which one's this? An Almost Christmas Story. This is the Disney Plus new stop motion animation that came out this Christmas. I watched it on Christmas Day just because I wanted something cute, I guess, to put on, and it was that. It was fine. It also really wasn't amazing, to be honest. It's the perfect background kind of movie. It's good for the kids. It's cute. There's an owl basically who gets lost and ends up in Times Square and is trying to find his way home, and then finds a little girl who was similarly lost, and they try and help each other, and these pigeons also help them, and it's very cute, but it also left absolutely no impression on me other than being, that was nice. Oh god, there's this movie, I've forgotten what it's called. It's the one that's based on a true story where the woman who is played by Anna Kendrick in this goes on this kind of blind date game, and it turns out the guy that she ends up going on the blind date with, which it never happens, is a serial killer. It was good, but I don't think it was amazing. I watched it just because I was hearing such mixed things about it, and I was intrigued. I like Anna Kendrick, and I knew I think this was like she was heavily involved in the making of this, and it was decent, but I didn't love it, unfortunately. I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of a heckin' good time because I liked it, but it left no brain space for me afterwards. The Spy Family movie. I went to this at the cinema. This was very cute. This can go up here at the top. It was kind of like just watching an extended episode of Spy Family, to be honest, but I liked that it took place in a different country and everything that happened with that. Also, this whole scene with Anya, which is not a humour I would usually like, had me absolutely in tears in the cinema, like cracking up laughing about it. So that alone puts this up in that category. But I do really enjoy Spy Family anyway, and it was a really good film. Violent Night. This is the David Harbour action movie where he plays Santa, who's very much doesn't want to be Santa yet anymore, and he's very jaded, and he ends up accidentally being at a house that is being like robbed, and he ends up helping the people there. I liked the Santa in it. I thought his whole like backstory was quite interesting, and I liked the little girl that he helps in it, but overall this was kind of a background movie. It was fun. It was very Die Hard, I guess, but like not as good as Die Hard. I liked it okay, but it wasn't amazing. Promare. This was a movie that I think was the first movie I watched actually in the year, come to think of it. I thought it was something else, but I think it was actually this. Almost blew my mind, but honestly, even though I loved it whilst I was watching it, it hasn't stuck with me, sadly. So, although I really enjoyed it, this is an anime movie, by the way, it's like a sci-fi cyberpunk kind of thing, amazing visuals, but it didn't stick with me. So even though I really loved it and I would definitely rewatch it like many times, it isn't Blew My Mind territory. Also, Poor Things. That's going in That Was Something. I went to watch this with a friend, and I went to watch this purely because I knew it was like a Frankenstein retelling, and I love Frankenstein. And this ended up, I thought it was going to be more horror, and it's actually more of a black comedy, which I didn't really expect going in. It has absolutely gorgeous visuals, fashion, cinematography, all that kind of thing. I loved all that, and I really enjoyed some of the performances in it. Mark Ruffalo was so funny in this movie, and overall I did enjoy it, but it's also not a movie that I think I would ever really want to rewatch, to be honest. Like, I'm really glad that it won all the Oscars and stuff, but also it was kind of a surprise because it's such a weird movie. Also, kind of how I feel about Saltburn. I know this got a lot of hype for how weird it was, and I honestly didn't think it was that weird, to be honest. The things that people were like, this is so strange and gross, I was a bit like, it's not that bad. It was okay. It was good performances. I kind of enjoyed it whilst I watched it, but it didn't really stick with me. I'd actually completely forgotten I'd watched this last year, so it was just fine. The Platform, however, was a really good movie. That's going right to the top of A Heckin' Good Time. This is a horror movie about these people who are all stuck in like this big tower, and this platform goes down, and it's kind of all about power distribution and how the strong prey on the weak, and really good movie in general. This is a foreign movie as well, and I need to watch the sequel for this to see if it's any good or not. Rosemary's Baby I also really enjoyed. We always watch one classic horror movie on Halloween, and this year we chose Rosemary's Baby. We've kind of done a lot of all the typical horror movies at this point, and I'd read the book for Rosemary's Baby the previous year and really enjoyed it, so we finally watched this. I finally got to know what the Mia Farrow haircut is that was always so famous in America's Next Top Model. And overall, I did really like this movie. It definitely made me a bit uncomfortable at times, but I thought the performances were really good, and yeah, I liked it. This is Permission to Leave. I think this was interesting. This was something I actually watched back home, and I'd heard like it had like won awards and stuff. It just happened to be on TV, so me and my mum watched it, and I did quite like it, but it wasn't amazing. It had interesting character performances, but it has one of those weird endings where you kind of feel a bit unsatisfied at the end. I did like it, but yeah, mixed, I think. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. We watched this for Full Love of Horror, and it was such a good time. Honestly, it's going right up here. Really did have a good time with this, and I can see now why this is kind of like a horror classic. Heretic was another horror movie I watched, and I also did quite like it. I watched a lot of really solid horror movies actually last year. I went to the cinema to see this one, and I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not going into it. I thought it might be a bit like ham-fisted with the whole thing, that essentially it's this guy who traps his two missionaries in his house to play a game with them. It's Hugh Grant in his first ever like scary role. He was really good in it. I really liked the two missionaries who were in it, and overall I actually quite enjoyed this movie. The School for Good and Evil. I watched this with a friend who has actually done some work on the costumes in this movie, and I preferred it to the book. I did indeed also do this, I think, for the Fae Retellings video that I made. I read the first book in The School for Good and Evil, and I didn't really like it that much, but I quite enjoyed the movie. It's not great by any means, but is it fun? It's so fun. Also, the costume design is gorgeous in it. But yeah, it's not an amazing movie, but I had a good time watching it. And yeah, it's very much the kind of thing you could watch with friends and like throw popcorn at the screen and yell at the characters, which works for me. Okay, the final movie then, we have Apostle, which was something that we watched just because we'd heard a little thing about it, but didn't really enjoy this one. I didn't like how the main character barely spoke throughout the whole movie. It was kind of folk horror, but it just didn't leave much of an impression on me. It was just kind of okay and not that great. Okay, into the TV shows now. Some of these TV shows I think I started and then never actually finished. Squid Game Season 2, however, this is actually the last one I watched in the year, and this was actually really good. I was a little bit like, I don't need there to be another season of Squid Game. I thought the first season of Squid Game was good. I really enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't need this story to continue, or I thought I didn't, and actually I really enjoyed what they did with it. I really actually liked the cast in season 2 way more than season 1. I didn't really get as emotionally connected to the season 1 characters that much, but I did in the season 2. So yeah, surprise, I really liked that one. I watched all seasons of Love, Death and Robots. This is very mixed, to be honest, because essentially this is a whole bunch of animation shorts that they're all sci-fi, all based around the themes of love, death and robots. Overall, there was some really good stuff in here, but there was also some like really mixed ones that weren't that great. But overall, it is gonna go here into a heckin' good time. I really shouldn't even have What We Do in the Shadows in here, because I started it and I watched like 3 episodes and I liked it, and then I kind of forgot to go back to it. It was a good time, I'll give it that, and I will go back to it, and I think I'll get more into it, but right now with only 3 episodes it's just gonna go here because I'm really not a comedy person, but I would like to give this one more of a try because I did like the comedy it did. Derry Girls! I watched the final season of Derry Girls and yeah, it's really good. I love Derry Girls. It's such a good show. I so rarely watch. It's not a contemporary show because it came out in the 90s, but like shows that are based on realism, I so rarely watch them. But this is such a good show. It's so well written. It's so freaking hilarious. And yeah, great cast all around. Oh, Doctor Who. I was starting to rewatch Doctor Who and I just didn't get very far, which is a shame because I really wanted to actually like complete this series, because this is how I got into Doctor Who, was through season 1, Christopher Eccleston. I really like him. He is like my doctor. And it's good. I'm going to put it up here. Like, I have seen it before. This is a rewatch, but I only got around to like watching the first 4 or 5 episodes and then I dropped off. But yeah, it's good. I do want to eventually get back to Doctor Who and maybe getting up to date again. Who knows? That's kind of a commitment at this point because so much has happened. I dropped out around Peter Capaldi, not because I disliked Peter Capaldi, but because I disliked Peter Capaldi and Clara. I really hated their dynamic. I missed most of David Tennant. I've only seen half of David Tennant, but I saw pretty much all of Matt Smith, and I love Matt Smith. And I've not seen any of the new Doctors, although I really do want to watch the last 2 Doctors because I think both of them probably do great jobs. I did used to be kind of a big Doctor Who fan. I just fallen off the wagon, and now the wagon is like 60 feet down the road and I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up at this point. Okay, we have, let me put them together. We have 2 Drag Race seasons. Me and my flatmate always watch Drag Race. There was a UK season and there was the new season. Season 16, I want to say. This might actually be the one that's currently airing. I really don't remember. These always go into hecking good time. I always prefer the UK seasons over the US seasons, I'll say. I just think it's a lot more relatable and I think the people are often more likable. I think a lot of the American seasons are a lot shadier, which I'm not so crazy on, but they're still always a good time. So yeah, solid seasons. Okay, Agatha All Along is going up here. This was something else I was completely obsessed with for a while. Like, these 3 things here, Wicked, I Saw the TV Glow, and Agatha All Along, have just lived rent free in my head ever since I watched them. And I am so glad that I gave this series a chance, because I am solidly just not interested in Marvel stuff anymore now. They hit a point where they just hit like a saturation, and I just don't care anymore about a lot of Marvel stuff. But I'm so glad I gave Agatha All Along a chance, because it's genuinely some of the best television I've watched in a while, which is also how I felt about WandaVision. To be honest, I loved WandaVision, and Agatha All Along is just so good. Like, it is almost a perfect show for me. And I loved what they did with it. I love the cast. Yeah, I was so emotional. I love the music. Just such a good show, such a good show, and I desperately need to cosplay Agatha at some point. Oh, Scream Queens. This is a really old reality TV show which is about a whole bunch of aspiring actresses. This is essentially America's Next Top Model, except for acting, and it's horror acting, because they are fighting for the chance to star in a Saw film. I watched both seasons of this, mostly with my flatmate, because the presenter was going to be at Full of Horror, and because reality TV show and horror combines 2 of my favorite things. And yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Was it good? No, but I had a good time with it. Legend of Vox Machina season 2 I haven't finished this. I'm halfway through, not even halfway through, I'm maybe 4 episodes in. I'm still loving it. I just haven't got around to going back to it. For no good reason. I just keep getting distracted by other things, basically. Hazbin Hotel, gosh, did that really come out last year? It pains me to put this in That Was Something, but I have some issues with this show, unfortunately. I know a lot of people really love it, and overall I'd say I liked it, but there were some things that kind of tainted the series for me. I actually much prefer the pilot for this show compared to the actual show itself. I think it fell short of where the pilot suggested it was going. I think the pilot had a much clearer vision, and then I think they got lost in the course of the show. There's some great like characters, some great like moments, some okay songs. I really didn't like a bunch of stuff that was to do with SA, with Angel Dust. That actually kind of triggered me a little bit, and that really made me have to take a step back from the series. So even though it's mixed, I'll probably rewatch it at some point with new eyes, and maybe I'll feel a bit better about it. But unfortunately, this was a series I so wanted to love and just didn't quite get there for me. But I do love the Radio Demon. Stranger Things season 4. I finally watched this. Oof. Part of me is like perfect for background, because there was so much filler in this series that I didn't think needed to be there. In this season, sorry. I am gonna put it in a heckin' good time, but it's going at the bottom because I am honestly just getting fed up with the show at this point. It doesn't need to have episodes as long as it does, and yes, it has some great moments. I really love Max's character arc in this season. I really wasn't crazy about much else. I get really annoyed when they spend so long in a season just keeping the characters apart for needless reasons when they obviously need to be together, and it really hampers the pacing. And this was paced so slowly that I just kind of lost interest a little bit. About ready to drop this series. I don't even know if I'm gonna watch season 5 because season 4 was a struggle to get through. What was not a struggle, however, was Interview with the Vampire. And this is also going up here. This is definitely one of my favourite series I watched this year. I've only seen season 1, but I am like a hardcore Anne Rice stan, and I love the changes this TV series did. The fact that they chose to add race into the equation and actually deal with it properly in terms of the storyline, rather than just doing it for like tokenism, made such a difference to the story. I think the cast was absolutely perfect. Even though this is not necessarily following the same storyline as the books, I don't care because I love what it's doing. I will be watching season 2 very soon, and yeah, this is up there with like Hannibal as being one of my favorite shows of all time already from one season. Walking Dead, I was carrying on with I think season 5, I want to say. It's good, it's decent, it's The Walking Dead. I feel like I'm not at the point yet where people say it starts getting bad. I just haven't really gone back to it since. It's very much kind of a pick up and put down show for me. I watched it for a few weeks and then I put it down. I just haven't got back to it, but I will get back to it at some point because I genuinely enjoy this show. The Mole was a show that I watched. It's one of the Netflix silly little reality TV shows. This was fun. I think I watched both seasons of this, and it's a good time. It's decent reality TV. Prefer this because it's not romance based, which a lot of reality TV shows are. This is more about these people that have to do all these like different tests, like escape rooms and treasure hunts and stuff, and they're all trying to do it well to get money for the team, whereas one person who is the mole is trying to sabotage, and the aim of the game is to try and find the person who's sabotaging. It's interesting, it's good, it's fun, it's just easy watching. That's what reality TV is for me, really. Oh, okay, so this was season 6 of Black Mirror, which actually came out the previous year, but I only got around to watching it this year. I'd forgotten I watched this last year. This is always kind of a mixed one, I feel. This was 5 episodes long. Okay, I'm just going to go through them one by one with my review and see if I can actually remember them. So the first episode was Joan is Awful. I did quite like this one. This one was quite fun. Lock Henry was okay. Beyond the Sea, I can't remember, which is a bit awkward. It could have been good, but I don't remember it. Oh wait, this is This is the one with the astronauts, isn't it? Oh, this one was, I felt iffy about this one. I liked the idea, I didn't like the execution. Maisie Day. This one was fun. I liked this one. I remember this one now. This was good. And then Demon 79 was my favourite, I think. I really enjoyed that one. Overall, this was a decent season, I think. There was definitely a couple of misses. I don't think I enjoyed Loch Henry and Beyond the Sea much, but I enjoyed the other three. 1899, that was a good series. This is a historical fantasy about the ship that enters like a weird area and stuff happens. I don't want to say much else about it because it's all kind of spoilery, but honestly a really good series. I highly recommend checking it out. It did unfortunately get cancelled after one season, but it kind of still works as one season, thankfully. And I definitely want to like see what else the people behind this are working on because they had some great ideas. Oh, Flag Means Death. I finally watched the last season of this, and how did I feel about the last season? Why have I forgotten? I think it was good, but did I love it? I don't know. I'm gonna put it in here because I feel like I definitely did enjoy it. Like, I do genuinely enjoy this show. Yeah, no, I think I did enjoy it. I just apparently have completely forgotten it, which is quite funny. More reality TV. I apparently watched Glow Up Season 4. This is just an easy reality TV show, to be honest. It is just people doing makeup. It's a British show. I like it. It's really good. I like all the artistry that you see in it. And yeah, I enjoy it. The last two things, we have 2 Dimension 20 shows. One I actually haven't quite finished yet, but I did finally finish Fantasy High, which was really good. A really solid D&D campaign. I really enjoy it. Brennan is a really good DM. And Fae and Flowers, I am like over the halfway point in this, and I think I do prefer it over Fantasy High, so we're going to put it a little bit higher. Right, we're finally on to the last category, which is video games. So, Somnium, this is the second game, I think. It is, because I played the first Somnium game the previous year. The second game was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I liked that we got to play as Mizuki in this one, rather than Dato. I like you, Dato, but Mizuki is my girl. Really, really solid visual novel, like murder mystery kind of thing. Really good series. It's not quite a blew my mind, but it is solidly up here as being a really good game. Raincode, however, was not an amazing game. It's going in that was something, because I just expected more from the Danganronpa creators than what they gave us in Raincode. It had some good ideas, but the execution wasn't great. There was a lot of like unnecessary stuff. There was a lot of repetition, and I just feel mixed about this game, really, because I just feel like it had so much potential and it just didn't meet it. Train Station Renovation. I just really like these silly little sim games. They're fun, they're good, they fill my time. Race Die Run is a free game that I got, which I just played because it was short and easy and I was trying to get through a couple of old games. It was perfect for background, I guess. It wasn't amazing. I really don't remember anything about it. It's literally just a racing game, and you just have to try and race for as long as you can without dying. I feel like I should have had 2 Katamari games in here, but apparently I've only got Touch My Katamari, although I definitely also played We Love Katamari, which I prefer. Touch My Katamari is the PS Vita game, and it's sadly the worst Katamari game, I feel like. Katamari is this like zany little Japanese game where you essentially roll a big ball to music and try and roll up as much as you can within like the music, and I really enjoy it, but I don't like what they did with it in the Vita. It's weird. I played Doraemon Story of Seasons. I've tried Harvest Moon before, and I feel like the games are just kind of a bit boring for me. They don't really work for me. I know they're kind of like really popular farming sim games, but I get like bored after the first 20 days or so. This was probably the best one I've played in Story of Seasons. It was decent, but eventually I did get bored, unfortunately. I probably will go back to this at some point because I still didn't even finish the main story, but I did just get to the point where I was like, there's not much else to do and now I'm bored. Don't Starve was fun. Actually, I started playing this. I still haven't survived for very long, but it's a really like fun, addictive kind of game. You essentially just are left to survive by yourself with very limited resources and try and like make it work, and it's really good. I like the premise. The art style is really cool. Wolf Simulator. I got this game as a joke because we wanted to make fantasy wolves and then we got really invested into it. It's a silly little game. It is by no means a good game, but it's fun and I liked it, so there we go. Sometimes you just need a brain shut off game, and that is definitely it. Project Zero. This is the first Fatal Frame game. I love Fatal Frame so much. I've never actually finished any of them. I'm still playing this. I still haven't finished it. It's really hard. Also, I probably should have realized I could turn the brightness up on my TV. I didn't realize that for like 10 hours, and no wonder I was suffering because I just couldn't see a damn thing. But I do love this game. It's not a blow my mind game, unfortunately, but I really enjoy the Fatal Frame series. Fatal Frame and Silent Hill are like my favorite horror game franchises. Spiritfarer. This is a really cute game. I'm close to finishing it, I want to say. This is definitely like an emotional gut punch of a game, and I think I picked this up after I put down Doraemon, and this is more like my kind of speed. I think you are essentially kind of like a ferryman helping spirits finish their last task so they can move on to the underworld, and it's just really sweet and cute and I really like it. Oh god, I forgot I started this really old Avatar game that's on the PS2. I didn't get very far with it. I'm just going to put it in perfect for background because I played maybe 2 hours and then never picked it up again. It did exactly the same with Soul Calibur, so I'm just putting it there because I really didn't give it enough of a chance to be able to really say if it was good or not. I think I got stuck and then I just never picked it up again. Soul Calibur was fun though, so I did enjoy it, but it didn't really leave a big impression on me. One Strike is going in NARP. This is another free game by the same people that did hashtag Race Die Run, I think, and this left no impression on me. I played like half an hour and I was like, I'm bored, I'm done, goodbye. It's just like a fighting game, basically, not much else to it. Alchemist Simulator was the game I started the year with. I actually mixed this up with a different Alchemy Simulator, and this is the bad one. I played this on Switch and it does not play well on Switch. I really tried because I wanted to love this game, and it was so janky and it got really frustrating. So this is going in NARP because I did have to drop this because technically it was a mess. Princess Peach Showtime. I really love this game. It's sadly extremely simple, but I love all the different like costumes you get for Peach. It's really fun. It's just a little too simplistic compared to other Mario games, but it's very cute and I had a good time with it whilst I was playing. I played the free WarioWare game that's on Nintendo Online. This was really fun. Again, a good time. I love the WarioWare games. Needy Streamer Overload. This is a kind of twisted visual novel dating sim kind of thing where you are kind of acting as the manager for this girl who is wanting to be a streamer. However, she has depression and it goes very wrong if you don't look after her properly, and it's one of those that has like multiple endings and is kind of a big critique on the streaming industry and how people get sucked into like followers and likes. The music's really good in this as well, I'll say. I did like it, but it's definitely going into a that was something because, yeah, there's definitely some stuff going on in there that's kind of problematic. I don't even know why Cult of the Lamb is on here because I think I was just continuing to play Cult of the Lamb. Regardless, it's still a really great game and I love Call of the Lamb. Oh, it's probably because I was playing the DLC actually that came out, that's why I've got it in here. Great Ace Attorney. I started the Great Ace Attorney series last year. I played the first one. I'm picking up the second one in a couple of days time, and this is my favourite Ace Attorney game. I really enjoy this. I think the addition of the historical context and having the Japan and England differences works so well for the storyline of this series. And yeah, it's going up here, I think, pretty high up in a heckin' good time. This is a Miku game that I apparently played some of. Oh, this is me finally going back to Project Diva, the very first game, with the aim of me like fully completing it, 100%ing it, which I think I mostly did. It's good. I really enjoy the Project Diva games. They are a good time. I finally finished Tales of Symphonia. I started this actually the year previous, and I am such a bad gamer. This took me so long to play, but I really enjoyed it. This is probably, I want to say it's maybe my second favourite Tales game, potentially? I don't know. Tales of Arise is my favourite, but I'm really glad that I finally finished Tales of Symphonia. It's a really solid game. Still holds up, even though it's pretty old now. And then finally we have Little Nightmares. This is such a cool game. Visually, it's so creepy, and it does so well with its premise of you being this tiny little person in a big, giant, scary world. Super creepy. Did not expect it to get as creepy as it got, but I really loved it. So yeah, that is it. Really not a lot was in my mind category. Like, I enjoyed a lot of things last year, but very few things I got like super obsessed with. Books, I think, were definitely where I got more super obsessed with things, but yeah, these four, definitely my one true loves from last year. A lot of stuff that I just had a really good time with. I feel like I probably should have had another category here that was kind of like in between. It's a good time and maybe it wasn't great, but I still liked it. That was something. We've got a couple of things in there. Actually, not as much background as I thought I would have. And then, yeah, the NARPs are definitely NARPs. So that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you think, from my tastes, if there's something you could recommend to me, I guess. Maybe there's some shows that I really should get back to soon that I'm still kind of in the middle of watching and I just put aside endlessly because my TBR watch list is just insane and I have too much to watch and then I just panic and get decision paralysis. I don't watch anything in the end. Yep, that is it from me. Until the next video, stay safe, stay cozy, and I'll see you again soon.